Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. We are doing a sculpted glitter ombre nail set from start to finish today. The first thing I'm going to do is go over the entire natural nail with my 𝘊𝘰𝘤𝘪𝘢 e-file and the fine pink sanding bands, which are available on my Amazon storefront. Everything, as always, will be linked down below. The reason why you want to go over the entire natural nail is because your nails naturally produce oils, and oils make your nails pop off. You do not want any lifting. You obviously want them to stay for as long as it can, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even longer. And that is why you have to go over the entire nail. You have to do it at the slowest setting because you don't want to cause any discomfort on your client. And so it's very important to do that. The RPMs that I have it on my e-file is at 3,000, and I do not go any higher than that when I'm doing this part. So I'm then grabbing my Crafts by 9 dehydrator and my not polished 𝘃𝑥 bond, which are my go-to for so long. That is what I use when I'm doing nails on somebody, and it makes their nails last so long. So I'm going to get my dust brush and dust off all that dust, and then I'm going to apply the nail forms, which I'm going to be using the not polished nail forms, and I'm going to be putting them, basically the line in the middle of the nail forms have to be in the middle of the natural nail as well. I do have other videos going more in depth with the nail forms, but I'm just going to go right into the next step, which is then applying the dehydrator. I do one all over the nail. I make sure that it gets all over the nail. And then I do 2 coats of 𝘃𝑥 bond. So basically, when you're doing a client's hand, I do the 5 fingers one time. And then I do it on the nail that I'm going to start with first. So say, it depends, because you might start with the thumb, but I usually start with the pinky. So then the second time around, I do the pinky first, and then I go that way, if that makes any sense. And then the first nail that I'm going to start doing my sculpted set on is the pinky. And that way, I don't know, in my head, I feel like it's like the first one that had a primer, and so you want to work on that one first, and then the thumb had it last, so then I work on that one last. That's just the way I like to do it, and I always do 2 coats. I feel like that is what does wonders. This primer from Not Polished is the bomb. It's amazing. I've been using it for a really long time. I was using another one prior to it, and I got a lot of lifting off of it. And so then when I switched over to the not polished one, I haven't had any problems with lifting. As you know, I don't take clients anymore, but I still do my own nails, and I do family members' nails. And I've had no problems with lifting. So I absolutely love doing, basically the steps that I do always. And another thing I want to talk to you guys real quick about. Do not worry if you're a beginner nail tech and you feel like you don't have the steps down of doing a full set, because you will get there. Like, trust me, I remember like it was yesterday when I had my very first client sitting in my chair. I rehearsed the steps of doing a full set. I can't even tell you how many times the night before. I was so nervous. And I was like, oh my God, what if I forget a step? What if I'm too busy talking and then I forget? Or what if I'm too nervous? But I promise you, the more you practice it, you will start remembering these steps without needing anything. I literally wrote them down. I literally printed them out, and I was rehearsing it the night before. And that was just like me being super nervous about it when I had nothing to be nervous about, because it went great. My first client was so sweet, and we talked, and it went like great, and I didn't forget any steps. So it's just me being nervous, but don't overthink it, because once you keep practicing, even on like these silicone practice hands or whatever it is that you're practicing on, you will get those steps down. You will remember. Take off the shine off the natural nail with the fine sanding band, and then put your tips, and then dehydrator and 𝘃𝑥 bond or your primer, and then go in with your acrylic, and you'll remember those steps. It's like something that you just don't forget, especially after doing it for so long. So if you're a beginner, don't worry, don't stress yourself out. Like, you will get there, you won't forget. I have had it happen once where I did forget and it was when I was doing my mom's nails, and we were so busy talking that I realized that I forgot to prime her nails until like I was almost done. I was about to apply a top coat and I was like, wait, I didn't even put primer. And it was like a whole thing. But I mean, I'm so glad that it was my mom, but it does happen, you guys. So it does happen, but it's not a huge deal to where you're gonna have to stress yourself out. But these things are, you're gonna know what to do next. And if you need to write it down like I did, do it, but just don't overthink it like I did. It can definitely help, of course, but it's not something that you have to do. I would definitely just say grab a practice hand and practice on it, just like I'm doing right here for the video purposes. Pretend like it's an actual person, and that's how you can practice off of it. So once I'm done with the acrylic application, where I am happy with the length, I try to be as clean as possible. Even when I'm doing sculpted nails and I know that I'm going to go in and file and everything, I still try to make it as clean as possible where I don't have to file that much. So I make sure that the length is the length that I want, the thickness that I want, and so on and so forth. And I always do this even when I'm doing practice sets. But when I'm showing it to you guys, I really want you to know that it takes like a lot of product to do super thick nails. And some people like it super thick, their nails, and some people don't. So I wouldn't recommend, if your style is doing them thinner than thicker, like the way I'm doing it here, I wouldn't recommend you doing it super, super thick. Even though, yes, you can go in with the e-file and make it thinner later, it's just going to take up so much time when you can be doing less product, when you know you're going to be using less. So it all depends on how you want your finished look to be, but still try to be as clean as possible with your application. So then when you go in with the e-file, you don't have to take a super long time, and it's just easier for you, and it's cleaner as well. It's cleaner work. So then after I applied the nude, I went in with my Crafts by 9 glitter acrylic, and I'm doing an ombre. So basically I apply it a little bit below the middle, and then I ombre it up. I turn my acrylic brush the opposite way and I feather it up towards the cuticle area. And I like doing my glitter ombres this way. There's also other ways, of course, where you put the acrylic first or you use clear acrylic, but that's a whole other video that I can do later on. And then once I'm done with that, like, I use a little bit of glitter because I already wanted, knowing that I wasn't going to do a lot of glitter, I did the thickness as like how I wanted it with the nude acrylic. So then now all I have to do is go in with my clear acrylic. And it's very important that you encapsulate ombre acrylics, especially when you're using glitter. But I always encapsulate my ombres anyway, because it leaves like a certain dent where you feather it sometimes. And you obviously don't want it to be like that. You want it to look very nice, really smooth. And also, when you go in with your e-file, if you don't encapsulate, you're going to literally take off the layer of glitter, which takes away all of your work and the whole purpose of doing a glitter ombre. So make sure to always encapsulate. And the clear that I'm using is from Not Polish as well. Now that the acrylic is all dry, and make sure that it is completely, like, grab your acrylic brush and tap it all over the nail a few times, and you'll hear a sound when it's completely done. And then I take off the nail form, and I'm going to go in with the actual filing. I'm grabbing my Nail House 8080 hand file, which I like to do first just to make it super crisp on the sides and at the bottom, so it looks super nice and the shape that I want it, and to take off any imperfections or any acrylic that might have gotten to the side of the nail form and messed up the shape a little bit, but nothing that the file can't fix. And then I'm gonna go in with that same sanding band. You could also go to a medium sanding band, but I prefer using a fine one anyway, just at a faster RPM. Here I use it at around 6,000 to 7,000 RPMs, but you could definitely go faster. And then I'm grabbing my Chiara Sky Pink buffer blocks just to smoothen it all out before actually applying top coat. Using my Chiara Sky dust brush to take off all the dust. And then I'm grabbing my Crafts by 9 pink lint-free wipes with my Young Nail Swipe to go over the entire nail to take off any dust that might have been left behind. And then now I'm ready for the top coat. I'm using my Crafts by 9 Glossy No Wipe Gel Top Coat, and look at how beautiful that is. I mean, it's stunning. Now, and I'm not just saying that because it's my glitter acrylic, but it's like literally stunning. You see it, and the glossy top coat. Well, I hope you guys learned something in today's video. Let me know down below what video you would like to see me do next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.